Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Penberlan Farm, where today we are going to be doing some mowing, because why not? I was going to do some muck spreading, but we're doing that on old streams at the moment, and I want to do something a bit different here, so we bought fields 8 and 10. I'm going to be mowing these up today, and hopefully getting some silage done to be sold off, because if I take off creative money, because I forgot to turn that off, we're at minus £15,000. Fear not, for I do have a plan. It is a wonderful plan, and it is a plan of wonder. The plan is I'm going to swap out the round baler, the Kuhn round baler, for the square baler, because it's easier to use, and the wrapper. And hopefully, well, for a square baler. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Kuhn square baler. A square baler and the Kuhn square bale wrapper. In theory, I can get both of those for the same amount that I have at the moment, or the same price as the round baler and wrapper combination will give me, because Giant's bales ain't very friendly with anything to do with a hill, and this map is quite hills, so not a good piece of equipment to have. Not for me anyway. And I will be working on that hopefully later on in this very video, assuming of course I can get these two fields mowed up. Now, because I'm using the Kuhn mower, which is 4.8 meters wide, this is going to be a very quick mow, and shouldn't take too long. Now, one thing I am concerned about is the fact that, well, I do have quite a lot of work to do on this farm. I will be, hopefully, assuming I can get enough bales together to cover this, renting a big tractor and a 6/4 plow, just to do the rest of the ploughing. I may even rent one of the chisel plows, or leasing it, I guess. And the reason for that is because the 5/4 plow, I think, is probably better suited to interim work. It is a very good plow, and it is very easy to use, but it is not gonna be quite good enough speed-wise for doing all the fields we need to do now, because we do need to plow up all the fields that we own, and that's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a bit longer than I'd like, so I'm gonna kind of push through at speed and hope that we get it done well, not today, but in a reasonable time frame. This mowing is just going to be circular mowing, because it's easy. It's the easiest way to do it. I do like this mower. Some of you might know that I'm a big fan of these offset mowers, side mount mowers. That's because they're very easy to use. You basically just drive up the side of the line you're just done, and you get your new line. There's no fancy maneuvering needed. It's drive in circle, get circle. Drive in straight line, get straight line. It's very easy to find where you need to go and what you need to do. Whereas with the triple mowers, I find that it's very difficult to, especially in cab, find where your middle mower is supposed to go. I don't really like that all that much. I do obviously use a triple mower setup because I use the Big M on Selby, but I don't like butterfly mowers. I'm gonna be quite honest. I like having, yes, this is slower, but it allows me to do it in cab if I really, really want to, without having to look around constantly and figure out, oh, am I in the right place? Well, I can see the windrow that I've just done, the swather I've just dropped, so yes, I am in the right place here. And what I will do is I will get the biggest swath possible out of this field. I'm going to possibly just make it into one mega swath, and see how it goes with the baler. It might be a very slow baling process and they might drop end to end, but I'm gonna see what happens. And the cows, as you can see, are 82% productivity. Why are they at 82% productivity? They should be at 100%. Oh, I think they need cleaning a bit. Possibly. We'll give them some extra food in a bit. Oh, I think they need grass, actually. That's a thing they might probably need, so this might be double useful. One thing I plan on doing maybe is getting a trophy hopper just for the purposes of getting the cows grass. But right now the more important, well, the bigger concern for me is ensuring that I have money in this save game. Now, obviously I've got the creator tools to mess about and get all the stuff that I really, really want, but I'd like to be able to buy it with the in-game currency as well. Instead of just, you know, turning on effectively a money cheat and saying, I need this, when really I don't. Now, I will do it for the baler and wrapper if I really, really need to. I don't quite see myself needing to. And we'll just be straight selling those bales. Because we have silage fermenting in the yard. Pit silage. And I've just realised this is the new version of seasons I'm using. We won't in fact be making silage bales today, we'll be making wrapped bales today. The reason I'm distinguishing the two is because the new version of seasons distinguishes between wrapped bales and silage bales. They have to ferment. They have to be allowed time to ferment, so you cannot do silage bales the day that you need them. They will just sell off as grass bales. They need to be fermented. And I think it takes 24 hours for that to happen, maybe. Now, there is also a second thing that Seasons does. I don't have it working at the moment, though. And the reason I don't have it working is because there isn't a snow mask on Penberlan as far as I know. I should have asked DustyDave this myself. This, by the way, is a new version of Penberlan, which theoretically has all of the fixes and all of the minor bugs sorted out. There was only one thing that I really saw that struck me as being like, oh, this is a problem. And that was the shader issue. The field definitions really, if you make a bunch of silage bales, and no, you guys probably will, because I know the farm sim community has a bit of a thing for silage. There's a real love affair there, and the fact that it's now easier to make than ever, well, yeah, it's probably going to be silage you guys do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out of the field and just turn it off, because I'm going to be smart about this and get you guys what you want today, because you guys will want me to I was going to do some fertilizing today, by the way. That's why this is all set up like this. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that over there like this. And I'm going to grab the windrower here. With our John Deere 6630. I've accidentally, yeah, put it too far back now, but there we go, that should do. And while that folds up, I'm going to drive quite slowly. There we go, she's folded up. Gonna try and do a left-hand side, right-hand side swath. I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do some test swaths in the middle of the field to figure out exactly what way I'm swathing, because I don't think there's any indication from the swather itself. So in we go. Actually, if I bring this up, unfold merger. Oh, there is going to be an indication. I've just realized that I can keep it up like this. And I think it's Control Y. That's merging the wrong way, so Control Y again. And if we just pull it into the field here, we can merge all of this over to the right hand side. And we're just using this as basically as what it is. It's a conveyor belt with a couple of pickups attached to pick up grass and move it over to one side. And this can go incredibly quickly. 23 kph is incredibly fast. Too fast, in fact. I'm gonna slow it down and get to a more reasonable speed. Which is probably unreasonably slow, but a lot more manageable. And don't worry, because I will be, wow. The tiniest little touch of the accelerator, I'm up to 23 kilometers an hour. That's quite insane. Don't worry about these giant blobs. I will be going around the other way in a moment and de-blobbing them. But this is actually impressive. Just the way that this picks up is impressive. I am very much in the happy camp of this works quite well. Okay, so let's just try and merge this into the thingy that it'll do, and then Control Y, so that's merging in the other direction. Is it now merging in the other direction? Yes, it is. We'll briefly turn it off so we can get over the windrow, because that's going to be mildly problematic. And back on she goes, down she goes, and now we're making an even bigger windrow than before. This is the biggest windrow you can possibly get in the game, because well, it's nowhere near the biggest because I'm not collecting at all. Also, the yield was kind of bad, so you can get bigger windrows in the game, in theory. But if you get full yield on, let's say, grass or straw or something, and you merge like this, it is going to be the biggest windrow you can possibly get in the game, because it is the biggest windrower in the game. It is slightly larger than the really big windrower that I can't remember the name of. And what I'm going to do is just, because this is so ridiculously huge, I'm just going to do one headland, because it doesn't need any more than one headland. This is more than enough. I say a headland, I'm just going to go up and down. Which will require me to... Will it require me to do things that are a bit odd? No, because if I turn this off and start off down at that end, I can just go straight across the field and keep merging to the left. So that was the wrong button. There we go. So let's get this back on and down. Now if I just continuously merge to the left while doing this, we should get some rather nice swaths produced. Hopefully not pick up half the headland, which I just did. This is the problem with big windrows, is the windrowers do tend to pick them up afterwards. We'll get nice big swaths like so. And the square baler is going to love these. We should hopefully be able to get the square baler in today as well. Use the Axion on that, so we use all of our vehicles. That was the wrong button. There we go. Get the Claas Axion in on this, so that all of our vehicles are used except the Massey. The Massey can't really do a whole lot, to be quite honest. It's probably going to be the first vehicle to go, because I now have a JCB telehandler in the yard. And the telehandler can do bale work. And if the telehandler can do bale work, that means, well, that's a job that the Massey doesn't need to have to do. And more importantly, the only thing that the Massey can do, I think, that the JCB can't, is yard sweeping. So I might actually just keep that as a yard sweeping tractor. Which, granted, is a bit of an abuse of the tractor, but I do need to keep the yard clean as well. Slight roleplay, y'all. I do need to keep the yard clean. It's a very important job on the farm. Because a dirty yard is a messy yard, is a dangerous yard. And that's going to have to do because... Screw it, I'll actually windrow once more to the left. Over here. I've just knocked some of that into a tree, haven't I? No, but I've caused a mess. Wonderful. Well done, Dave. We'll just knock this into a row over here. It shall not be the prettiest row, and it shall not be the largest row, but it shall be a row. There we go. And fold this up again. I'll just put this down next to the New Holland. Actually, I'll put it down into the muck, the field that has muck spread in it. Because it is a John Deere. And that is fitting. So let's grab the Axion. Where are you? There you are. Gotta be careful because this field is seeded already. If I raise all the equipment up, can I go slightly faster? Yes, indeedy doody. Lovely. Quite a lot faster, in fact. Wonderful. Now, if I don't have time to do the wrapping today, I can most definitely do the baling today. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this stuff down over here like that. Back up. Put that down. And grab the baler, where did I abandon it? This needs to go over to the shop. God, it actually looks like I know what I'm doing when I'm reversing like this. Fun fact, I rarely know what I'm actually trying to do. Because the entire plan for this episode came about in about 5 minutes. There we go. And I can I can come up with a plan fairly quickly. It's just a case of how long will it take to carry out the plan. Now, probably the next episode, at this rate, we will be wrapping the bales. The important thing right now is to get this baler down to the shop to sell off. Get the square baler out of the shop. A square baler. It doesn't have to be the Kuhn. I would like it to be the Kuhn, but I'll do some quick mathematics to see what we can in fact afford, and I'm not going to cheat money in. I'd like it to be the Kuhn. I wouldn't mind getting something else though. I wouldn't complain too much if for monetary reasons we had to buy something different. but my first choice would, of course, be the Kuhn. Let's just see what happens. So let's put it in here. There we go. And pull this into the shop. And the joy of this is pull this forward so they don't get confused. So that 98,000. Okay, we got 82,000 pounds. And first item in the agenda, Kuhn square bale wrapper is 54, so that leaves us with we'll say 30,000. And the Kuhn square baler is 105,000. Okay. Do we have any square baler that is less than 30,000? We got the Krone Big Pack. I get the Krone Big Pack. Like I said, Kuhn was first choice, but anything else will do as well. So let's get this Krone baler. I know that I'm using the same baler on all streams, but it'll do. As long as it can bale the grass, I don't mind. We got 2 days once this bale is made to wrap it. Because what Seasons does is it's basically a bale extension from FS15. If you played using that on a map that has this snow mask, which is a requirement for Seasons, and I'm explaining this despite the fact Seasons isn't really all that available at the moment. On a map that has a snow mask, which does have to be put in manually, what Seasons now does, as of the version that I'm using at the moment, is it will make the bales degrade over time. Now, on a map without, the bales won't degrade, except in the case of grass bales. What grass bales do is they will take 2 days to completely disintegrate. You have 2 days to wrap a grass bale once it is made. If you don't wrap it within 2 days, it's gone forever. No more bale. Now, the good thing is, if I just carefully get this into the field, that's realistic. I like it, it's realistic. Also, the square bales, as I've already said, well, any bales to try and make into silage, they do need to have time to ferment. Unfortunately, I don't believe there's a UI for that. You'll just have to prod them with a stick or a bale fork or whatever you have handy to get the fermentation status. As in, is it silage yet? Yes or no? The idea has been raised to make a UI for that. I don't know if the guys at Seasons are going to do it, but it'd be nice. What's kind of funny is they didn't... I was talking to them, they didn't seem to know that bale extension used to be a thing. I was explaining to them they basically made bale extension just in a different way and with the same functions. So a UI to tell me, you know, how long the grass has left, or a bale has left before it's completely degraded would be nice. I've just realised I explained the bale degradation really badly. And the snow mask. So, I'm just going to go back on myself real quick. A snow mask is basically a foliage layer style thing that says snow cannot fall here. This is indoors. There can be no snow indoors. So you put that onto your sheds and onto your buildings and onto wherever you don't want snow. And the way that the bale degradation works is if a bale is outside the snow mask, it will degrade over time. Because it's the way that they're calculating it is this is exposed to the weather, it's gonna rot over time, you're gonna lose bits of your bale as time goes on, etc, etc, etc. If it's inside the snow mask, I don't think it degrades at all. And if, like me, you're on a map that doesn't have a snow mask at all, the only bales that will degrade are grass bales, and I think it's just a case of 2 days and then poof, they're gone. Which is a really nice, really nice way of doing it, I think. Definitely a lot better than the way Bale Extension did it, which was basically... and I spoke with the guys. They know how Bale Extension did it, so I can talk about this. Bale Extension used an upwards raycast, which is basically the bales all, and this is why Bale Extension had some performance issues. Every single bale you created sent out a little. How do I explain a raycast? It basically shot a ray up into the sky, and it was looking to see if there was something with collisions above it. Usually if there's something with collisions above it, that was a shed. And if it was in a shed, it would tell the mod, okay, I'm in a shed, don't make me degrade please, or make me degrade slowly. If it didn't detect a shed, it would say, okay, I'm not in a shed, make me degrade quickly please. And every single bale you had did that. Which, if you had a lot of bales, caused performance issues really quickly. And the fact that they all had a little UI that popped out of the bale itself, that caused even more performance issues. So it was a really good mod in terms of how it worked in game, but the performance issues were really quite bad. So here's one of the bales. Can I just turn on Superman mode real quick? Muscles mode on, muscles mode on, and actually okay. Here's one of the bales. As you can see, it is impossible to say that it is grass. It is impossible to say if it is... well, it's very possible to say that it's grass because it is definitely a grass bale. If it was wrapped, it would just look like a wrapped bale. There wouldn't be any special thing saying, hey, this is so much fermented, this is however many litres. I'd have to prod it with a bale spike to figure out. And that, if I buy the wrapper, like a good girl, is going to be something for the next episode that I'll show off. Like a good girl, I'm going to get my pink wrap. But until then, I will leave you by saying, I've been Rainbow Dave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Penberlan Farm Estates. Or Penberlan Farm, Penberlan Estate, Penberlan. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay safe. And goodbye.